What's up, guys? I'm Mark.
I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be talking Power Rangers. The 2016?
It might have been, I don't
20,
remember.
Yeah, I think it's 2016. But I'm a person who always liked the old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And this film, it's not a bad film. It's not. It's an alright, a mediocre film. But there's things I wish that they took from the old Power Rangers, even just a little bit of it, and put it into this modernized version. And to me, they didn't execute it well.
So, I will be giving the other side of the coin. I'm an outsider. I didn't grow up watching Power Rangers. I know very little about them. But to me, I agree. I thought the film was very mediocre. I felt it followed a formula, and yeah, I don't know. It could have been a lot better, but I mean, it could have been a lot worse too.
Yeah. And I'm gonna keep going back to the old Power Rangers, but the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, it was always fun. It was always, things going on, explosions where they didn't need to be explosions, and it was just fun. And did they have those two characters, the two funny characters in here? I don't think they did. I can't remember. It's a big guy and then a skinnier dude. They were like the comedic relief in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. But in here, in the 2016 version of Power Rangers, it was too serious. There wasn't enough fun in this film. There were times when the team was together and they were doing things, but it wasn't as I had more fun watching the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in freaking ice cream shop. Cracking jokes with that. There's the two guys, I can't remember their names, but just cracking jokes and then hanging out, and then it is more fun. It felt more real than this one to me.
Yeah, because I don't know, this one, I mean, starting off, the film, it started off with I feel so bad because I didn't even do research, but the guy who plays the Red Ranger, he's like running away from the cops. He's supposed to be like this bad boy, and to be fair, the scene was shot very well. Like it's from like his perspective in the truck, and he's driving around, and then there's like a 360, so you can see like the cops coming behind him, and then like he makes a turn, and then like out of his side window you see them crashing, and he's like, yeah. So I thought that was really well shot, but like I said, I feel like it followed a formula to where he's like the guy who's supposed to be the leader, but he's not the leader yet, so you have to see him grow. And I mean, to be fair, the actor did a pretty good job. Like, there's a scene where they get thrown into detention, and there's like the bully, and he shows up and he like slaps the bully around. I thought that was pretty cool, but I don't know, there's really not much else that I could say about his character.
Now, I mean, I actually like that they went and showed them a different side of it, especially with, like I said, with the Red Ranger. They show him becoming a leader. I can't recall, I don't remember, but in the old Power Rangers, I think they just the Red Ranger was automatically the leader, because he had that leader look, he had that leader presence. He always acted that way, and I actually liked in this one they showed him becoming the leader. Yeah, I actually really did like that. And there's Billy. I can't remember Becky G's name. I know she's Yellow Ranger. The Pink Ranger.
I don't remember her name.
I mean, the Power Rangers in general in this one, I can't buy into. There's also Bryan Cranston. He did great for what he had. I'm not gonna say he's a talking head. There's not much you could really do. You're just facial expressions for the most part, and that's it. But he did well. He did good for what he could do. But I wanna bring up, I don't know if you remember, towards the end of the film, they have to, in order to become the Power Rangers, they have to be as one, together. And I hated that. I did not like that at all, because in the past, you just say Mighty Morphin whatever, let's go, and then they become any time they were by themselves. If they were at home or they were about to face the enemy by themselves, they could automatically become the Power Rangers without anybody there. They would get their ass kicked, but they would at least do it. I hate it in this new one. they have to be joined together. So that means basically whenever one of them is having a bad day and they have to fight in a monster, they're not going to be able to do anything.
That's a fair point of looking at it.
I really hated that. I really did.
Yeah, because I don't know, when, like, in terms of stuff I didn't really like the character of Billy. I felt he was stereotyped as like the funny black guy, and it's like I don't know, I've just never really been a fan of like comedic characters, because I feel for him specifically, I would compare him to there's another movie called Kong Skull Island. The soldier, who was also the funny black guy, and like their sole purpose is to crack jokes. Like, they're not serious and they just crack jokes, and then it's like it comes off more annoying because it's like you know, they're trying to be serious, but there's this character that's not serious. So it's like it kind of, they have that contrast.
Yeah.
And and this is, of course, I always talk about this, the music. It felt really, well, the licensed music
out of place.
Felt really out of place, and I don't know, like, for example, they used Kanye West's Power in one scene, and it seemed really.
They really need to stop with that song. For some reason, in a couple of films, they like to use the song Power. Even in video games, they like to use the song Power. This is a decent song for certain times, but not for this kind of movie. I remember hearing it in the trailer. I'm like, oh my god, are you serious right now? Come on.
You have Becky G in your movie. Use one of her songs or something.
You might have, that's free music.
And also, since Mark was talking about the old 90s show, there were bits and pieces here that I kind of caught on to, like I guess the Easter eggs and callbacks and all that. But to me, they felt really undeserved. Like, whenever they used the Power Rangers theme song, it came out of nowhere, and it was like, I don't know about that. And even at some point, they do say it's Morphin time, but you're like, if you're a fan of the show or if you're familiar with it, you know the callback, but in the sense of the film, it seems out of place because it literally comes out of nowhere. And even there's a cameo by Jason David Frank, I think.
Yeah, and the Pink Ranger. I can't remember her name.
Amy Jo Johnson, I believe. But like, it happens, and like they show a crowd, but unless you really know who they are, like, they're kind of just there, and you're like, am I supposed to know who that is?
You should know who the White/Green Ranger is. I mean, he actually knows how to do his fight scenes, at least.
Yeah, because like there's like a shot of a crowd, and like they're in the middle, but they're also kind of in the crowd. So if you're not familiar with them, you kind of just see them, and you're like, am I supposed to know who that is? Like, why is this lingering camera angle still here?
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, I would compare the way this movie handled it. I compare it to Joss This League, when Cyborg just at the end of the film was just like, booyah. Like, it felt really undeserved. Yeah. Because you honestly wanted to be like, no, shut up, you can't say that, you don't do that, that's so undeserved. That's how I felt about the Easter eggs and the callbacks in this film.
There was one other thing. It might not be a good topic to talk about, but they did have a sort of to me at least, a little agenda in the film with, I think it was Becky G's character and her family. They weren't accepting of her.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so they try to put that in there a little bit. I noticed that, and I was like, I mean, it's not a big deal, but I just, sometimes I don't like when you have to, like how you said, like with the stereotypical black guy, you throw that in there. You throw, that the Yellow Ranger is a lesbian. Now she had the family problems and stuff like that. So I don't like that, and it didn't really fit the story. It's just in there because it sells more, in a way, to me. I really wish they didn't do that also in this film.
So, do you have an MVP in mind?
No. No.
Honestly, I'd say the same thing.
No.
But really, the only characters I did like were the ones who weren't even part of the main cast, which is Bryan Cranston and Bill Hader. I forget what the character's name, but he's the little robot, and that's really the only people that stood out to me. And But I guess, I mean, I'll give the MVP award to Elizabeth Banks for having to sit in that horrible makeup and be in this movie. But yeah,
I mean, also I want to talk about the Megazord part. Also, you know, the Megazords, they look cool, but I really wish it meant more. It's like I figured it was gonna happen because it's the end of the movie. You've seen the monster, how you knew it was gonna happen. You knew it was gonna happen, and I wish it felt more deserved. Or, you know, if there was going to be a second film, which most likely there's not.
Yeah, it's been a while already.
Yeah, it's been a long time. And maybe in the second film we could have seen that, you know, instead of rushing it and let it, you know, just showing everything. I really wish they didn't do that. And there was one scene during that moment that I actually liked that this modern Power Rangers did. They actually show the Power Rangers helping the civilians. They didn't show that, not that I can remember, they did not show that in the 90s version. You know, you would see destruction, you see everything happening, and I always wonder when they were in the Megazords in the 90s show, what's going on with all the people? Because you don't see anybody. They're so high up. Everybody, you're just worried about the giant monster and the Megazord, and that's it. But in here, you actually got to see, you know, how the people were dealing with it, and how the Power Rangers, especially there was a scene with the Red Ranger helping someone, which I feel like was a good emotional scene. That we actually, it was nice to see that in this modern film.
Yeah. So, as a fan, would you recommend people watch Power Rangers?
I would say give it a shot, but just know that you're not going to get that same, you know, fun feeling that you had in the 90s version in this. But I would just say try it, but just don't go in with your expectations so high.
So, me, like I said, being an outsider, if you want like a science fiction kind of movie, I guess go for it. But other than that, I probably wouldn't really recommend it because it was really mediocre, and unless you're really familiar with the IP, like you probably won't be that into it. Because I mean, like I said, like, you know, I'm not necessarily that familiar with it, so for me it was kind of But yeah, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't bad. It wasn't really that good either, but it was just fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, guys, that's our review for Power Rangers. I believe it's 2016. Don't hate me if I'm wrong with that year.
Don't crucify me.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's a review for it. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button and come back and check back for more.